what are you doing now? What's going on with you?
I've been, like I said,
I do want to know your journey. Like, what happened after high school?
Okay.
Where did you go, Seth?
It's a funny story. Because we're from Brooklyn.
Should
Brooklyn,
I get wine for this? I think I should.
You might need some wine for this.
Oh my goodness, where did that come from?
Okay, so here's what happened. After high school, I went down to Virginia State, right?
You were one of those Virginia State.
Yeah, well, I
didn't
even really go to Virginia State as much as I kind of snuck in for free. I just went down there and was doing things and just, I'm the Black Forrest Gump. My story is about me just finding myself in places that I probably had no business being in,
which is, by the way, the set that I know from junior high school.
Yeah, I don't understand. After high school, I ran around with X-Clan. I did a lot of Black liberation things, and that was the Black Watch movement.
Nice.
So I ran around, and at the time, it was like I'm trying to find out who I am as a person, as a young Black man in America. So I ran around doing that, and I had a wilder history, but we'll just start at this point. So I'm at the point I'm trying to find myself, and the one thing that I've always maintained is good friends. I've always had really good friends, and I have a trade. I've been a plumber for over 20 years, and I supported and fed my family that way. And how life changed was, and I don't want to say this to anybody so that y'all start, because I quit, but it all started with smoking cigarettes.
Good for you. You quit though. You quit. You said.
I quit.
Okay.
I quit. The reason I say it started with smoking cigarettes is because I have one of my good friends is MC named Talib Kweli, and I've known him for as long as I've known you, from when we were children. Yeah, I grew up with him. His mother taught in Mega Evers.
He grew up in Crown Heights?
No, he's from Flatbush.
Oh, I'm from Flatbush.
Yeah, he's from Flatbush. His mother taught in Mega Evers, and across the street on Crown Street is Mega Evers.
I know Mega Evers, yeah.
Right. So I met him in there, and we just kind of grew up together. At one point, I hadn't seen him in like 10 years. And I decided to go to a show. And when I seen him, he seen me. It was on and tracking for the next decade after that.
Oh, nice.
But one of the nights we were hanging out, I just ended up, it's me, him, and Dave Chappelle, and a bunch of other people.
Really?
And
just like that?
Yeah. It just, I've always been somebody you can take anywhere. And that's my guy.
Your 20s.
This right here is, how old am I now? Late 20s. I'm old. Don't listen. You got to give your own away for that one.
That's all I know.
Right.
We are now the old people, according to my kids.
Yeah, listen, I was listening to Biggie Smalls. My daughter told me his dad rock. Word. Like that. Hurt my feelings. So I'm running around with my friends, and we're running around the earth just recklessly. And one night I end up hanging out with Dave Chappelle. And he keeps going outside to smoke cigarettes, and they keep sending me with him. Like, you smoke too, go. Keep an eye on him. And that night he told me that he thought I was hilarious. Really? And I never mentioned it to anybody. And the next morning, my friend called me on the phone. My friend Talib called me on the phone, and he said, Dave told me that he thinks you should be a comedian. He thinks you're hilarious.
What?
Right. So I didn't for a minute, I was like, yeah, that was crazy last night. And then I thought about it for a second. I said, I didn't tell you that. How did you know? He said, because he just called me and told me to remind you.
Wow. You left an impression on Dave Chappelle.
So me and Dave had that moment, and I just kept going out and trying. Yeah. And I would send them stuff to critique because I knew that I didn't know anything. Right. And I can take a critique better than I can, insults bother me. I get upset. But if you give me a real critique on something, I take it, I eat it, I roll with it.
With love,
Right. So it don't really have to be with love. Tough love is tough love. I'm still from the hood, so.
Yeah.
But, so I was getting critiqued, and it was rough. Some of them was rough. Some of them was good. And then one day they was like, yeah, just hop on a plane and come out here. And the next thing I know, I was opening for 5,000 people at the Fillmore, and yeah, it was a wild ride.
Wow.
Because I had been doing bar shows 30 people. By the time I got that stage I mind you, I'm like, I'm not scared of anything. My only fear in life is cold, because I had winters with no coats in the hood.
Right.
It was, my mother was like, oh, you out here wilding? You get it. So I understand what it's like to not have something. I also know what it is to earn something.
Yeah.
So when I got to that stage, I was like, I'm not afraid of nothing. Yeah, when you walk out in front of that,
I know.
I was like this. Like, you're supposed to walk in front of the stage.
It's the same thing for motivational speaking. I know what you're talking about. Like, I thought, just like, I got this. I talk in front of the conference room all the time, I'm in meetings all the time. I'm in rooms of 50 people talking to them, motivating them. And then I get a conference where I have to step out on the big stage. And I was like, it is very scary. Now, I have not spoken in front of 5,000 people, but my biggest
it was 5,000. I think it was 5,000. And then the next, I opened for Dave twice, which is technically 4 shows because 2 shows a night. So the first 2 was 5, the second 2 was 7,500. After that, it was very hard to come. Like, I don't want to say it this way, but once you go to a Hamptons party, you're not impressed anymore because you realize that none of these people own the house. This is not their joint. This is y'all just here. I became unimpressed with a lot of things, and doing comedy kind of ruins comedy for you. Because you're not, like, I used to watch comedy to laugh. And now I watch anything. As much as I want to laugh, I'm sitting here going, that was pretty good.
Right. Oh, I can